Hello, I'm in the garden. This beautiful day today, and I have rested here for a moment, and I am doing a garden meditation. And my brain is never quiet, it always is buzzing with thoughts, ideas, associations, my past, future, fear of the future, worries about all beings in the world. The birds are happy today and they are singing and they are very active, and it's very nice, it's very lovely. And as I was lying down here, I was thinking it's nice here, and I was also thinking that I can never really relax. It's extremely difficult for my body to really relax. I know the different stages of relaxation and tension. But I also know intellectually, I've never experienced it, but I know intellectually that what I experience as the most relaxation level I can reach is by far not the most relaxing mental state there is. And then I start to feel sorry for myself, and I think, can I ever reach that level? Can I ever reach that level of relaxation where my body and mind feels calm and in the now? This state of now allowance, I see how incredibly difficult it is, and then looking back on my life, how difficult it was in the past, and I see people in chat rooms or in general, and I feel sorry for myself, but then I see other people and I see these people they're like light years more tense and light years more in defense and denial and self-image preservation, struggle about their standing in society, success, their career. I hear the word career a lot in people. I don't even use that word. For me, it means nothing. It's completely empty, that word. Career. Oh my goodness. As a child, I used that word. I didn't even know what it actually meant. I thought it meant just this an unfolding life, without any kind of judgment in it. But apparently, and then my mother got real mad at me for using that word. She thought I was bragging, and then I realized, oh my goodness, career means something else. It means success, or it means like achieving things, becoming. It's the neuroticness, the insanity of my parents, my peer groups, friends, family. It's this network, tightly knitted network of neuroticness, of neurosis, that drives us into complete tension and fear and guardedness. And if people are very unlucky, which is the most people, the vast majority, they will completely adapt and accept everything 100% that's around them, the behavior of others. They will copy everything 100%. They won't even think about it twice. And they will live this insanity and propagate it forward. And then some other people, they come to the world already with an apprehension towards that. I believe it has to do with past lifetimes. You come into the world and you are already equipped with not knowledge, but with wisdom that's on the inside, that is, has an already built-in aversion towards certain neurotic behavior of other people, or certain, you come to the world and you see what's good and what's bad already without being told. So I think the baby souls, how can they navigate themselves through this, right? And understanding what's good and what's bad. They think the bad behavior is maybe not good, but they think that's how it's supposed to be. So when I talk to people about kindness and protecting life, all life, not just human life, all life, then they come back with their indoctrination, they regurgitate what they have been just blindly accepted, as they have accepted that as normal, and well, that's just the way it is, and without ever questioning it. And they all come at me with some ridiculous statements, the most ridiculous statements there are. Like, I really don't even want to repeat it, because I don't want people to hear this again. So it's like they have this false idea about what the human is, or the human species level, or the human species in the midst of all life. So that their idea about that is so incredibly brainwashed and indoctrinated from religions, from ego, greed. All of that leads to that. And these people, they think that, like I said yesterday, they have this mindset of adapt or die. Yeah, so, and then there are very few people who say, I'm not going to adapt, even if that meant the death of my ego, or even the death of my existence. I'm not going to adapt. And that I'm part of that, so I think they're like a 1%, something like that, around that number. So many thoughts going through my mind at once. I don't even know where to get started with it. I don't like human courtship behavior. I have a real problem with that. I find it so extremely ridiculous, insane. I find it gross, actually. It's gross. Not all, I mean, certainly not. What I'm talking about is like people that are you know, their life is a shitty mess, right? And then they act on Facebook like their life is wonderful and everything is so wonderful, so wonderful, you know. And then they meet a woman and it's so wonderful. Usually they're scam artists anyway, so everything is wonderful as they are scamming their way into people's brains. You know, some older ladies fall for it. It's older ladies that have never ever been educated. They have been anti-educated with religion, so they fall for that because they have already lived their lives in denial, so they'll add some more denial to it. There is this nice, yeah, like Sergeant Petrozelius Zwackelmann. Sergeant Zwackelmann is in love with me, you know, my type. Yeah, now he wants $20,000, a wire transfer. Yeah, well, I will do it because he's in love with me, right? Wrong. No, he's not. It's like, hi, darling. Isn't it nice you start a nice new day with a cup of coffee? So I sometimes, because I'm bored, I might play along also to test them, to see the reaction. Because obviously whatever they want from me is not what I want. But it's like whether it is just a scam artist, you know, it could be another woman acting like this Petrozelius Zwackelmann, um, army sergeant. They're all army sergeants. It's strange how many army sergeants there are. They think that's what the ladies like, you know. Yes. And then when I say I'm a peace activist, I don't promote going to war. Then, and a lot of those are, they might even be, yeah, I don't know, from India or the Middle East. They got nothing to do with the U.S. military. They'll still take offense to that, to me being a peace activist. So the number one reason is because I wasn't, they couldn't scam me because I'm a peace activist. The second is that makes them mad is that they just don't care whether there's peace or war. They want their cookies, they want their money. It doesn't matter to them whether someone gets poisoned by lead. Like I said before, some people in India, they'll put lead powder into turmeric powder. Turmeric, which we buy turmeric to cleanse our livers. So they'll put lead powder in it to make it way more. Huh. In the meantime, the people who take it, they die. Yes. They get so poisoned, they die. But the people who put the lead powder in it, it's money. Money. It's just money. We want the extra money. Yeah. That people get poisoned in animals. No, we kill you, see? That's how they think and that's how they talk. In Africa too. We kill you, see? That's what we do. It's the most normal thing in the world. Or the Muslim women will say to you, they don't kill you. You be that they are so kind and good. They don't kill you if you adhere to Islam. That is so isn't that wonderful? They will not kill you if you adhere to Islam, if you do what they want, then they don't kill you. Wow. Man, is that generous, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna I guess I'm gonna have to become very blunt with all of this in order to get people to understand how serious this is. Do I need to get even more blunt to explain to people that the human species, Homo sapiens, you cannot trust them, okay? You can't, okay? You can't. You need a lawyer. In the Western world, you have to have a lawyer who works for you 24 hours. Some people have 100 lawyers. But they also do it. They also have 100 lawyers because they themselves are crooks and get sued for being crooks. And so it's like one big fat suing mess. Okay. But yeah, here you have to be backed up with all kinds of extra security measures in the legal system. If you don't do this, you get so screwed. You get so screwed. If you have never learned that the human species is corrupt and crooked, I mean the majority, 99%, well then you're in it for a big surprise. You know? Some people they'll be lured into some kind of, give me your 40,000 and I will invest it for you. And they give the 40,000. You must be nice. He's a human after all. Yeah. Humans are good. We put him on a pedestal. And then, where is my 40,000? I never see it again. I thought you wanted to make more of it. Sorry, it's gone. I invested it. I kept it for myself. You, oh, I need to make a police report. See, it's this kind of stuff. It's like, I don't even, I mean, there are so many stories about this. I can just go on like for like 5 weeks or something, just talking about that, and longer. It will never end. Those stories never end. The 60-year-old ladies, he is in love with me, so I give him my 20,000 life savings. Or the down and out factory worker saved up 40,000, he's like 70 years old, and then, yeah, I trust him, he will make me more money. And that guy would just walk off with that money. It's like, why are people not taught these kind of things? Why are people taught that humans are somehow a better animal than other? You see, when you feed birds, you see there's a lot of that going on too, not on that scale, of course. I mean, birds, the big birds will be real mean to the little birds, chase them away brutally. They peck on them even, I just saw two of the same type. One is a bully. There are many flowers where they can sit on, and they eat those seeds. And instead of sticking to his own flower, the bully goes over and chases the other guy brutally away, and then sits down on that flower where the other one was on. And this stuff's going on, but the human is not above this. I hope I make this very crystal clear. There's a handful of people that are not like that. But the other 99 and more percent are exactly like the bullies among the birds, like the squirrel that hit the rat on the back like full force. Rat was in a feeding dish. We put sunflower seeds in it. I saw it from the window. I mean, I had to laugh because, but it was mean. But I mean, the rat didn't get hurt or anything. But but this squirrel came, he saw the rat, he sat there for a while, and then he thought, enough is enough. And he hit the rat with his hand. Yeah, almost like us, the same type of hand. Hit the rat on the back with the hand, and the rat was terrified. He didn't even see the squirrel because the squirrel was sitting in a way where the sun wasn't putting a shadow onto the feeding dish. So he didn't see the squirrel. He didn't hear him coming up. He was very surprised. And he flew into the brush next to it. Yeah, and then the squirrel sat then onto inside of that feeding dish and ate the sunflower seeds and was like, I won. Yeah. And yeah, that is what's going on. That's evolution, okay? And the human is not standing above any of that. There are loving individuals among animals and among humans. But the real kind, loving individuals, they are rare. So, but all beings appreciate love. If someone sends love, I sit here and I send love to the birds, and they come up and they will actually listen, and they will look, and they will often do this with they will often rub their beaks onto something. That is a sign of they want to get a little closer when they do that. It's a sign of feeling kind of comfortable near you. I mean, they still wouldn't come all the way close to me, because they know they don't trust people, and for a reason. Particularly pigeons are very nervous. The wild pigeons that we have here, those I think the ring-tailed ones, those are very large pigeons. They're wild and they are terrified of people, and for a reason, because they're hunters that shoot them. So if I open the balcony door, they scream and fly off. They're terrified. Can't stand it. The sight of a human. So the pigeons in Rome are tame because there are so many people coming there to those plazas, and they feed them. That's where they made the movie, the Hannibal Lecter movie, where he slashed someone and hung them out of the window. That film was not. That film was very disturbing to me. Very disturbing. It was an awful film, and I'm never gonna watch those films again. I'm done with it completely. I have enough horror already that's going on through my brain. I don't need an additional horror. But yeah, according to horror, I always have horror thoughts of different variations. It's just it comes and goes. There's nothing I can do about it. But some of them are a little bit philosophical, like this one. Like half an hour ago, I was lying down here and I thought, I was looking at my hand, like the way it was lying like this here, like this, like that. And I had my head all the way like this here, and my other hand like that. Sort of like where it's in any kind of movement or tension or action. Just complete drop the whole body down. And we should practice that every day. It's good to do that in nature. And breathe, very important to breathe. So we get the blood to pump oxygen and nutrients into our bodies and brains. Okay, very important. So I was thinking about how would it be like if I was a stuffed doll instead of a living being. How would that be? How would that be like, to be just a stuffed doll? No more thoughts. Like no more thoughts at all. No more worries, no more social anxiety, no more what if, and it doesn't matter whether I'm thin or fat or this or that, or my hair is cut off or long, or pimples, wrinkles. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The self evaporates. No more self. No more image making. No more diploma on the wall or getting customers and being politically correct. And none of this anymore. You're just a stuffed doll lying on the grass. And it wouldn't matter what happens. It could start raining. There could be a thunder. Thunder could even strike the doll's head. It wouldn't matter. Wind could even move the doll around a little bit where it looks like that being is alive, but it's just one big sack of materials. Like my hand, I envision my arm and hand to be just like something that's just sewn with cloth material and then stuffed with something. I kind of like that idea. I find it artistic. And there's no self in there. It's just complete peace. And that brings me to Felix Brusberg. I'll never forget what Felix Brusberg said. He told me what he feels about the paintings by Heike Ruschmeier. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the artist Heike Ruschmeier. I don't even know who that is, but they told me that she was hanging out in the same bars, that the punk bars that we were hanging out in. And I probably would recognize her if I saw her, but Felix and Stefan, and two brothers, they're real close friends with her, and their father, Dieter Brusberg, was a gallerist, and he had this huge gallery in Berlin at the Kurfürstendamm, and my parents were friends with Dieter and Heidi. Heidi was my yoga teacher, and Felix and Stefan were sort of like brothers to my brother and me. So we grew up with them and did a lot of things, splashing in the pools and vacationing together and always playing as children, playing together with Stefan and Felix. And so I think it was the last time I saw Felix. I visited him. At that time he was still living at his parents' house in Grunewald, a beautiful house that was owned by, I think, Bailey's Circus owners. And beautiful house. And the whole house was filled with the paintings by Heike Ruschmeier. And Heike Ruschmeier only paints, I don't know if it's still the case, but at that time, obsessively paints cadavers, human cadavers. She'd go into a morgue, into hospitals, I guess, and particularly, she was particularly interested in assault victims of any age. Some of them were infants. It's absolutely horrific. You go in there and take photos of them. And she'll make the photos real large at home. And she would start painting them on oversized canvases, wall-sized canvases. She did a lot of sketches with colored pencils, absolutely photorealistic and amazing. Then she'll play around with different light. You know, she'll change the light that falls onto the bodies. Absolutely genius. She's a genius, and particularly in skill. This is what's quite rare in the art world, actually. So, but that's not. No, I'm not. It's not like, oh, you have to be skilled. That's not the only thing that defines an artist, of course. But she has it all. Heike has it all. She has the skill, and she has an incredible knowledge, and just instinct on what to do to manipulate a painting towards that what she wants to see, like change the light or maybe change a specific feature in the face more towards what she is fascinated with, or might prolong an arm or make something more bloated or more blown up. And that was also the story of Pablo Picasso, where he started out painting things in their normal proportions, and then he would slowly, gradually make the figures fatter. That angered a lot of people. He kind of liked it. Some people felt mocked, and then some people felt uncomfortable with it, uneasy with this shift of focus on beauty that they weren't used to. All very interesting psychologically to me. So, but anyway, Heike Ruschmeier, she painted those corpses from the photos that she's taken. Brilliant. And Dita had her paintings in the gallery, major exhibits, and she must have, I don't know if she sold many to him. I think she sold many to Dita, but their whole house, huge house, was every room had those paintings, wall-size paintings, acrylic on canvas. And Felix had one in his room, and we sat there and looked at the painting, and there was something. Of course it was a little bit like a horror movie, and it was a little creepy, and it was also exciting. It was also aesthetic, and of course it was extremely artistic. I mean, the art just spoke to me directly from it. And I felt it too, what Felix felt. And then suddenly he said it. He said that He just loves standing in front of the paintings and looking at them, and it gives him peace. It feels peaceful. It feels like, all that hot air is out of the hot air balloon. All of that crazy boiling tension and the fear and the terror and the pain, it's gone. And left behind is just a sack of material. And that's kind of how I was thinking about being a stuffed doll. There was an Outer Limit. I don't know if you know the Outer Limit films. The Outer Limit series from 1995. There were like, I don't know, 100 different independent films made with this under this theme, Outer Limits, sci-fi with the meaning. So about an hour short films, about an hour long films, not movies length, but an hour was made for certain TV channels. But each film was an independent story and independently made by an independent film director and actors. And there was one film where I don't know how they did it, but somehow someone got all the dummy dolls that are in shopping malls in the windows, that the life-size human plastic imitations where they put clothes on them to show their clothes. Those dummy dolls started to become alive, but they became alive for only like 24 hours or something. And there's this real pretty photo model girl going into the store, and she said, and there was after hours, and she doesn't know how she got there. And suddenly she was alive, but in the beginning it wasn't revealed that she was actually one of the dummy dolls that had come alive. And they asked her, she was getting into conversations with other people in that store, and she told a story about her boyfriend and all kinds of things. And then they asked her to show her ID, and she didn't have an ID. And then they shrugged their shoulders and said, well, then you're just one of us, aren't you? And so in the end, one limb after another became plastic again. And she panicked and she wanted to stay alive. But then in the end, all those alive people, the clerks and the customers, they were all just alive dummy dolls that all went back into the plastic state. And so, kind of like, this is all very, very artistic and fascinating. Whoever wrote that story, they get my compliments. It's very artistic. That's modern art. And so I was envisioning myself being this stuffed doll with this white sheet, like a white cotton sheet that is used to make my hands and arms. And then put this jacket on top. And then the arms and the hands, they're just a little bit more plump and much bigger and clumsier looking, with the seams that go all the way around, and stuffed with just some stuffing that makes it look puffy and bulgy, and this arm is just there, this fat big arm with the fat hands and fingers just lying there on the grass. And it just felt so peaceful, you know. I felt like, no, there is absolutely nothing in there. No sense of self or no ambition, you know. I lie here on the grass and I want to relax, and this has been the case ever since we moved to this house or in my entire life. We would go on vacation with my parents in the past. Everything is so gorgeous and beautiful in 10-star hotels, and I can't relax because my brain had already been under assault. My body, my nervous system had been assaulted as a child because of people being unconscious about their own assault that they had suffered from. And they just continue to move it forward and perpetuate the suffering by putting more children into the world because they ignore the facts, the truths that they are neurotic, that things are painful, that things are not gorgeous. You start your day with your coffee. No, it's not gorgeous. It's a state of suppressing the bad stuff. If we stop suppressing that, then we can actually look at the problems. And if we can actually look at the problems, then we see, oh, we are not so weird after all. I'm not that, and we are not that mentally ill. What is mental illness? It's a reaction. It's some, it's, there are many different types of so-called mental illness that those are reactions to the assault that we have suffered from as children. Being forced into religion is an assault on the brain, okay? This is a massive trauma. People don't understand it. They don't realize it. They don't even see it. They don't see the trauma for the trauma because it is made to look acceptable, and it's regarded as normal and acceptable. That's what the biggest problem is in the world. So until we look at it fully and see what it really is, okay, that it is a trauma to force a child into a religion, to force any kind of mind school onto a child, whatever it is, to tell someone how to think and talk. It's an assault. It's a violation on our minds and nervous systems. And then if the whole world is like this and our parents that we trust, when we are children, we are totally to the mercy of these people. Going against them, a child would never even get to this idea to go against them. I mean, it happens sometimes, but it's very rare that a child would be aware that what they're doing is wrong. Usually the children, when they're being assaulted, they think that they don't question the parents. They always think the parents are right. They think that they themselves are wrong. They think that they are the problem. That's why it happened. When a little girl is molested, she thinks that that's her fault, that she is bad or that she is dirty. When I was a little child, I thought I was dirty. I thought I was like some sort of freakish, dirty. There's something wrong with me or something, that these things would happen to me. I felt very, very rotten and dirty when men would stare at me. as a child. It was frightening, and I felt like I just wanted to be someone else. I wanted to be a dog when I was a little girl. I was a dog in my former life, so that is what I wanted to be again, because I didn't like being a human. What happened to me, or how my life already started. So, but most people, they cover that up with denial. They go into resistance instead of looking at it for what it is. Most people, and I'm not saying this in a blaming way. This is a mechanism. This is a reaction. This is a very unfortunate reaction, but that's what's happening. And then in this process, because they're in denial, they think the day starts great with a cup of coffee. And and they think they need to be an army sergeant, or they need to be whatever their religion is, and they need to be this respectable guy, or they need to be this, you need to be the loving wife, the loving wifey. Yes, the loving wifey, the servant of the man. It's still happening to this day. It's not like still, and I doubt that this will ever be overcome or transcended. So, I mean, in the past there was almost nobody looking at it from a critical